I never imagined my life would unravel like this. What was supposed to be the perfect marriage, a love story written in destiny, turned into the deepest betrayal I could have ever endured. Sarah and I had everything: love, a home, and a future that once seemed unbreakable. We were high school sweethearts, bound by years of memories, shared dreams, and an unshakable trust. Or so I thought. For years, we had worked hand in hand to build a life together, supporting one another through triumphs and struggles. I adored her with every fiber of my being, and I believed, without a shadow of a doubt, that she felt the same. We spoke about the future countless times, painting a vision of a family, a warm and loving home, and a lifetime of happiness. But in the end, it was all an illusion, a cruel deception I never saw coming. One ordinary day, everything changed. I came home earlier than expected, eager to surprise Sarah, hoping we could steal a quiet moment together. The house, usually filled with the soft hum of her voice or the comforting sounds of her cooking, was eerily silent. A strange feeling crept into my chest. Something was off. I called out her name, but the only response was the echo of my own voice bouncing off the walls. A chill ran through me as I made my way upstairs to our bedroom, the place where we had once shared our most intimate moments, our sanctuary. Yet, as I stepped inside, the air felt different. Heavy. The stillness in the room was suffocating. My eyes landed on her phone, lying on the bed face up as if abandoned in haste. At first, it seemed insignificant. Sarah often left her phone around, but then I noticed a message lighting up the screen, a name I didn't recognize. Ethan. Curiosity gave way to a gnawing sense of dread as I reached for the phone. My hands trembled as I unlocked it, praying that my fears were unfounded. But the moment I read the message, my world stopped. I can't wait to see you tonight. I miss you, my love. The words burned into my mind, scorching away every ounce of certainty I had ever held about my wife. My stomach twisted violently. My hands clenched the phone as I scrolled through the messages, each one revealing a side of Sarah I had never known existed. The playful flirtations, the intimate confessions, the stolen moments. It was all there. She hadn't just cheated on me. She had built a secret life with another man. I felt like I was suffocating, drowning in the weight of betrayal. How had I been so blind? How long had this been going on? Every moment we had spent together, every whispered, "I love you," every promise of forever. Was it all a lie? The anger surged through me, but I refused to act on impulse. I needed proof. Cold, undeniable proof. I hired a private investigator, someone who could uncover the truth beyond the scraps I had found on my own. For weeks, he followed Sarah, documenting her every move, peeling back the layers of deception she had wrapped herself in. And then, the final blow came, a revelation that shattered whatever was left of my crumbling world. Sarah was pregnant, and the child wasn't mine. The words felt like a knife twisting in my chest. I couldn't breathe. My marriage, my life, my future, it had all been built on lies. The woman I had loved more than anything had betrayed me in the most unforgivable way, and now she was carrying another man's child. I confronted her the moment I had all the evidence. There was no room for explanations, no space for apologies. The truth was laid bare between us, undeniable and cruel. But as if her betrayal wasn't enough, Sarah had the audacity to demand a divorce on her terms. She wanted alimony, as if she were the victim in all of this, as if she were entitled to my support after everything she had done. Her entitlement was a slap in the face, an insult so deep it reignited the fury I had been trying to contain. I had given her my loyalty, my devotion, my everything, and she repaid me with lies and infidelity. And now, she expected me to fund her new life? A life she had built by stabbing me in the back? No. If she thought she could walk away unscathed, she was gravely mistaken. Sarah had built her reputation around being the perfect wife, the devoted woman, the embodiment of grace in her church and community. So I made sure the truth was known. I exposed her for what she truly was. Her perfect image crumbled under the weight of her own betrayal. Her church, the very place where she had found acceptance and admiration, expelled her. Her name, once spoken with reverence, was now tainted with disgrace. She had destroyed everything we had, so I made sure she faced the consequences. There would be no easy escape, no quiet exit where she could slink away and rewrite history on her terms. She had burned our marriage to the ground, and I ensured she stood in the ashes of what she had done. The pain of her betrayal still lingers, a scar that will never truly fade. But I refuse to let it define me. I refuse to be the man who was broken by a woman who never deserved my love. Instead, I will rebuild, stronger, wiser, and without the weight of her deceit holding me down. I knew I couldn't let Sarah walk away from this unscathed. She had betrayed me, shattered everything we had built, and still had the audacity to demand alimony as if she were the victim. No, I wouldn't allow it. She had made her bed, and now it was time for her to lie in it. For days, I carefully planned my next move. I could have taken the legal route, fought her in court, and battled over the divorce settlement. But something inside me told me there was a better way, a way that would truly make her face the consequences of her actions, a way that would leave a mark on her life, one that would remind her the pain she had inflicted on me. Sarah had always been deeply involved in her church. She was admired in the community, seen as a devoted wife, a woman of faith, and a pillar of morality. But I knew the truth. She was a fraud, a hypocrite who had carefully constructed a facade of righteousness while living a life of lies. And I was going to expose her. I gathered everything, the damning text messages, the photos, even the investigators' footage. Every piece of evidence that proved the depth of her deception. It was all there, irrefutable and undeniable. The time had come. On Sunday morning, I arrived at the church, my heart pounding in my chest, but my resolve unwavering. I knew that after the service, when the congregation gathered in the main hall, I would have the perfect moment, the moment to bring everything into the light. As I stepped up to the podium, I could see Sarah in the crowd. Our eyes met, and for the briefest second, I saw confusion flicker across her face. She didn't know what was coming. She had no idea that her perfect little world was about to crumble. I cleared my throat, steadying myself. "Good afternoon, everyone." I began, my voice firm. "There is something I need to share with all of you. It may be difficult to hear, but it is the truth." A hush fell over the room. Every eye was on me, waiting. "My wife, Sarah, the woman you all know and respect, has been unfaithful," I said, letting the word settle. "For months, she's been having an affair with a man named Ethan, and it doesn't end there." I took a deep breath before delivering the final blow. She is pregnant, but the child is not mine. A collective gasp rippled through the congregation. Whispers erupted like wildfire. Faces turned toward Sarah, their expressions shifting from shock to disbelief. I watched as the color drained from her face. She tried to stand to speak, but I raised a hand, stopping her. "This isn't just about our marriage," I continued. "It's about the lies she has told, not only to me but to all of you. She has stood before this church, claiming to be a woman of faith, a devoted wife, but she has deceived everyone." Silence stretched across the room, thick and suffocating. The weight of my words hung in the air. Sarah stood frozen, her hands trembling at her sides. I saw the doubt in the eyes of her friends, the people who had once looked up to her. Then I turned to the pastor, who had been watching everything unfold with a grave expression. "I think it's only fair that the church decides how to handle this," I said, my voice unwavering. "Sarah's actions haven't just destroyed our marriage. They have violated the trust of this entire community. It's time for her to face the consequences." The pastor's face was pale with shock. He glanced at Sarah, then at the congregation, before nodding solemnly. "Sarah," he said, his voice quiet but firm, "we need to speak. This is not the example we wish to set for our congregation." She opened her mouth as if to protest, but no words came. There was nothing she could say. The truth was laid bare, and there was nowhere left for her to hide. I didn't wait to see what happened next. I had done what I came to do. Without looking back, I turned and walked out of the church, my step steady, my heart lighter than it had been in weeks. As I stepped into the fresh air, a sense of satisfaction washed over me. I didn't need revenge in the form of money or legal battles. I had already taken from Sarah the one thing she valued most, her reputation. The image she had so carefully crafted was now in ruins, and the community she once belonged to would never look at her the same way again. In the end, the truth had set me free. Sarah was expelled from the church, her name tarnished beyond repair. Her demand for alimony was dismissed, and she was left to face the real cost of her betrayal. She had destroyed everything, but I had won. Not by fighting, not by seeking revenge to the courts, but by exposing her for the woman she truly was. And now, I was free to move on, leaving the wreckage of our past behind me.